Number 10. The thought of someone or something uninvited and with unknown intentions lurking in a baby's bedroom is enough to make the hair on anyone's neck stand up, but to catch the encounter on camera is downright terrifying. Caught on a Nest nanny cam inside an infant's bedroom, the video starts with the cries of a baby as it attempts to climb the sides of its crib, succeeding with surprising agility for their age, which can only be between 1 and 2. Then things take an even stranger turn. The child stands fully straight up, wobbling a little bit but holding their balance in a seemingly unnatural manner. It looks as though some unseen force is holding them steady underneath the armpits, and the baby is reaching out towards them. Unaided stability like this is extremely unlikely in a child so young, particularly so on a narrow ledge such as the crib's edge, and with no apparent physical effort being made to maintain balance. Even more distressing than this is the baby's cries, which get louder and more distraught as they stand up, with some suggesting that perhaps they can actually see the apparition, and are brought face to face with it when the screams reach their most terrified. It's then as if whoever, or whatever, is steadying the baby lets go suddenly, as the child alarmingly falls back into the crib, narrowly banging its head on the far edge, to continue crying in panic. While some believe the entity is attempting to console the baby, due to the apparent lack of concerned attention from any guardians, others are quick to claim it's faked. But we think that to subject a child to such cruel torment merely to stage a ghost video is worse than a haunting itself. Number 9. Our next clip is extremely unsettling and comes out of Saudi Arabia. Supposedly footage of a phantom witch captured by a police officer on patrol at night. In the pitch dark, the police officer turns his headlights onto a hobbling figure, draped in white with long black hair, hunched over a wooden cane and gradually approaching his vehicle. Visibly shaken, he starts to reverse his car in terror, shouting in alarm as the figure scurries faster towards him, chasing the vehicle and its driver. Terrifyingly, it has a very unnatural movement, from the way it jarringly hobbles to the fact that it never looks up, but simply follows the police vehicle whilst its trembling upper body shakes a head of wild black hair. Interspersed with the officer's screams are the disturbing high-pitched shrieks and cries of the figure, yet confusingly, it seems to alternate between hounding the vehicle and then trying to rush away. Finally, the cameraman decides enough is enough and tears off into the night, leaving the supposed ghostly witch to eerily hobble off into the night. Number 8. For a long time now, Carmel, Maine resident Kent Burris had maintained that his home is haunted, even having an investigative team research and explore the property in an effort to shed light on the strange ongoings. Here are just a few of the occurrences caught on film. Since moving into the Lamb House in 2014, Kent, once a fervent skeptic, is now a complete believer in the paranormal. And the shadow-like entities captured in these videos only scratch the surface of the encounters uploaded to his YouTube page. The first clip, slowed down for clarity, shows a shadowed human-like figure stood in the window, whilst the second terrifyingly captures a similar apparition moving across the bedroom from left to right. The shadows appear dense black, with no discernible details or facial features, and seem to have a fitting movement and hazy outline to them, suggesting some sort of presence or energy, rather than a solid apparition. In the clip where a shadow is pressed up against the bedroom's inside window, it also appears to respond to Ken's voice, hinting at perhaps an intelligence or at least an awareness of its manifestation, as it quickly slips behind the bed and out of sight. Chillingly, a camera mounted at the top of a staircase captures one entity peeking its head around the corner of the wall at the bottom, in either a cautious or playful manner, before jumping back in a flash, and other clips show it standing motionless in the hallway, watching as Ken films. If these creepy tip of the iceberg clips have piqued your interest, be sure to check out Ken's channel to delve deeper into this baffling haunting. Number 7. Another video out of the Middle East, a region steeped in rich history and known for its reverence of the supernatural. This clip is a situation we absolutely wouldn't want to find ourselves in. Self-proclaimed ghost hunter at Magood700 is exploring an abandoned residential area that's been reported to experience paranormal activity, and straight away, a heavy steel door behind him slams shut as he begins filming. In a brave retaliation of fear, he rushes and kicks open the door, walking around a series of empty rooms and shining his torch on the cluttered debris and trash, when suddenly a pile of junk shifts aggressively towards him, as if kicked or thrown, and he flees in terror, falling and injuring himself in the process. When slowed down, the junk doesn't seem to be pulled or dragged as though it's been staged, instead appearing to have been powerfully launched by something unseen. But it's in the final room that he captures the most convincing evidence. A solid metal workstation sits in the middle of one room, and Magood700 cautiously looks into the other doors leading to separate rooms, as well as around the workstation. Yet all is empty, and nothing seems particularly too creepy. A low screeching sound behind him then, and he turns to see the heavy workstation inexplicably grinding towards him. Somehow being pushed in his direction by energies unknown, as though its weight was no issue. This would be extremely hard to fake, given the bulk of the object and no discernible evidence of any pulley or wheeled system, as well as the lack of any other participants inside the room. Do you think it could be real, or simply an elaborate hoax? Number 6. A bizarre and crazily distinct apparition caught on camera by Ben Hansen, a former FBI agent turned paranormal investigator, comes in at number 6. Investigating the historic Idlewind plantation in Patterson, Louisiana, once owned by a wealthy French merchant in the late 19th century, Ben and his team had set up a series of cameras around the main house to hopefully record some evidence of the supernatural, but they certainly didn't expect to capture this. After hearing some strange noises around the property, the group broke for lunch, and Ben went to check the cameras, instantly calling over the crew to see that they'd stunningly caught a full-body apparition.
Let me show
on
you
video.
what we freaking captured. Watch right here.
Okay.
Just watch. Oh my gosh. Watch.
Okay.
Right about here.
The apparition crosses the doorway from right to left at normal walking pace, semi-transparent and dressed in a long white robe or bedgown, and seemingly holding something in front of its hands. Plenty of skeptics in the comments say the encounter is faked, claiming the figure appears too good to be true and captures so clearly, but others contest this could finally be the clearest evidence of the paranormal. Number 5. Our following clip will make you think twice before going into the water anytime soon. Filmed by Morales Debbie on the Canales Riego Isabela in Puerto Rico, as he was water tubing along the canal with friends, the video at first appears fun and carefree, until you look a little closer. As Morales emerges from a tunnel and turns back to film to video the route, a human-like apparition can be seen on the lower right of the screen, seemingly chasing after Morales before disappearing or submerging as it nears his rubber ring. Morales seems not to notice the sinister entity and says it was only when watching back the day's adventure that he caught the shape following him. The water appears quite fast flowing as he is drifting along, so it's strange that whatever it is can easily keep pace with Morales, with no apparent propulsion, such as the splash of kicking legs or arms if it were one of his friends. The thought of being followed by this apparition is creepy enough, but when it seems to submerge underneath him in the rubber ring, is straight up nightmare fuel. Many have theorized that it could be the ghost of a drowning victim, one of many in the canal's long history since it was built in 1927, whilst those more skeptical think it's simply one of his friends playing a prank. So, keep in mind, it might be worth double checking your surroundings next time you decide to go for a swim. Number 4. A relatively popular and hotly debated ghost video, this was caught by a group of ghost hunters around 17 years ago in an undisclosed location, but remains to this day frightening all the same. For context, the uploader says they were investigating a site that was reputedly haunted. Then, whilst nonchalantly chatting amongst themselves, the cameraman opens a red door marked East Wing Subway and jokes that there could be a body in there.
Let me stick your camera through the hole first, there might be a body in there.
Just as the door opens, an EVP or electronic voice phenomena is recorded of a deep, guttural, disembodied voice saying, "I have the body of a pig," followed by sinister grunting pig-like noises, yet nobody at the time heard it. It was only picked up by the uploader during the review process.
Can you get him?
The statement itself and the creepy imitation of a pig is spine-chilling, as there are endless meanings, both figuratively and literally, that induce disturbing mental images. Yet this wasn't the end of the group's finds. As soon as the door was opened, a flashlight was shone inside and a series of photographs taken, one of which captured this terrifying humanoid apparition with an unsettling, open-mouthed face and a luminous eyes, crawling towards the open door. Could this be the source of the menacing disembodied voice? Number 3. On August the 13th, 2018, Christopher Watts callously murdered his 34-year-old pregnant wife, Shannon, and their 2 daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, 3, in Frederick, Colorado. A horrific crime that shook the United States. The following creepy clip comes from police canine handlers examining the house during the subsequent investigation. Whilst exploring the house with their trained canine companion, 2 police officers enter Shannon's room, which remains eerily untouched since her death. One officer remarks,
"There's plenty of first in here,"
referring to a walk-in closet that the dog has led them to. Just after this, a low child's giggle can be heard, sounding as though it's right next to them, despite them being in the room alone.
Oh my gosh. What in the world was that?
Both officers hear this, at first thinking the dog may have stepped on a child's toy. The the handler asks their partner to step on a blue toy in the corner of the closet, but soon finds that this wasn't the case. Perplexed, the two sound a little creeped out, questioning where the noise could have originated, and both confirming that it sounded like a child's giggle, as well as saying the dog reacted to the noise and turned around. Ultimately deciding to make a note of it and continue their search, they didn't experience any other weird happenings. The fact that this comes from official police body cam footage lends credibility to the clip, as it is highly unlikely, not to mention disrespectful and unprofessional, that the two officers would fake or stage the incident given the circumstances. To further this, their reactions seem genuine, with neither instantly calling it a ghost, but instead trying to figure out a natural explanation. Interestingly, some viewers noted that around the 7-second mark, they heard what sounds like a weak childlike voice whispering, "Mummy," something that the officers don't seem to have noticed.
Yes.
Let us know if you agree in the comments. Number 2. Captured by an indoor security camera, this unnerving clip shows a little girl entering the kitchen with her toys, looking down at her feet in a world of her own, when she suddenly stops and looks up, as if something has caught her attention. She then proceeds to talk with whoever this unseen distraction is, and although we can't quite make out what's being said, it appears she's pleasantly showing them her toys. Quite suddenly, the green toy in her hand is forcefully pulled away from her, as though grabbed by an invisible hand, the power of it even pulling her towards a few steps before she seizes the toy back. Still staring at something we can't see, the blue toy box in the girl's other hand is then dragged from her with even more force than the last attempt, but again unsuccessfully, as she staunchly shouts no and walks away quite calmly. We think it would be hard to stage this encounter, particularly the girl's reactions, as they seem genuinely confused and then frustrated, rather than an act. So we're interested to hear your theories. Number 1. Our final video is perhaps one of the most well-known. Captured over 20 years ago at the battlefields of Gettysburg, it is truly old-school creepy. In November 2001, couple Tom and Delia Underwood were on vacation in Pennsylvania, USA, when they decided to visit the famous Gettysburg battlefields, where over 3 days in July 1863, the Civil War armies of the Union and Confederacy had clashed, resulting in over 51,000 casualties. After idly filming holiday memories with their video camera, Tom and Delia spotted some strange movements further downfield and set up their camera to see what they could capture. Hence their confusion as the video starts, with both attempting to come up with explanations. Spectral, faded shapes can be seen moving left and right before disappearing, at one point seeming as if two individuals are walking in file, one behind the other, as though marching. Delia suggests it's just other people, to which Tom responds, "It can't be, not up in the trees." Where the grey flat rock is to the left of the screen, the ground drops sharply away to a 10-foot drop, meaning the entities are not moving around on anything solid, as normal humans would be if this were the case. In the 135 plus years since the American Civil War, the grounds would have been changed considerably, meaning that what was now a drop could well have been a hill, trail, or staging post at one time in the past. Triangle Field, where the Underwoods filmed this clip, was the site of bloody and fierce close quarters combat during the second day of the Battle of Gettysburg, with corpus blood shed by both sides. It's no wonder then that the location is referred to as one of the most haunted battlefields in America. Visitors to the site have reported hearing sounds of battle, such as the crack of musket fire, cannon blasts, or soldiers shouting desperate commands, despite the area being peaceful today. Unexplained mists or glowing orbs of light have been spotted at dawn or dusk, and some even claim to have seen spectral soldiers crawling through the grass towards some unseen objective. Many believe that these experiences and the footage captured by Tom and Delia are residual hauntings, a type of paranormal phenomenon where past events appear to replay themselves, almost like a recording on a loop, without any interaction or awareness from the entities involved. Could the apparitions in the video be endlessly reliving the battle? Maybe marching up to the front line to meet their gruesome end over and over again? What do you think?